Hi my loves, how's it going? How you guys doing? Welcome if you're new, welcome back. If you've seen me before, it's actually time for me to update my beauty A to Z project plan. I've been very slacking the last couple of weeks in terms of like updating and like filming and like just doing all that sort of situation. So I'm so sorry this is coming at you guys late, but I do have a couple of MTs and I really want to share them with you guys. So I decided to do the beauty A to Z project plan again for another year because I did actually really like this project plan I did last year. I thought it was kind of fun, especially like it added a bit of a nice sort of challenge, trying to pan 26 items that all match one of the letters of the alphabet within like a year space is definitely something that I really struggled with last year because I think I only had makeup products except for maybe one or two items. But this year I've got like a little bit more of a mix. So I do have I think 17 makeup items in total, but I do also have other things like hair care, makeup, and not makeup, sorry, perfumes and skincare stuff. So it's been a nice little mix. This is a Pantastic Ladies collab. The details I'll try and link down below. I'm sure they have a Facebook page as well. There's a lot of other people who pan and do beauty aids said over on YouTube, so definitely make sure you check out their videos too. But with this video, if you guys like this type of content, panning content, or just anything like that in general, please make sure you subscribe. If you like this video, comment down below and check me out on my other socials. Everything is literally at Daily with Deals. It's same tag as my YouTube tag. But let's just dive right into the update. Literally the first product I ended up using up was this elf like gloss situation. This is the Glow Reviver gloss, I believe it is. I'm not gonna lie, it was really lovely. It made my lips so shiny in a really beautiful way. But one thing I've had an issue with elf is I feel like a lot of the products expire really fast. The lip products are not too bad, but I have found with a lot of the other products they expire way too fast, and sometimes it's just not worth spending the money on a brand like that because it just works out more expensive if you kind of have to keep replacing those items. This was actually really lovely, but I'm trying to stay away from certain brands as best as I can. Also, I have like you'll see my inventory soon, and when you see my inventory soon, you'll understand why. I don't need to go back out and replace this. As beautiful as I think it was, I do think there's other products I can kind of get like a similar vibe with, but also I don't need a replacement at all. The fact that I have so many glosses already is appalling. And when you guys see it next week, feel free to shame me. Like absolutely fine. Feel free to shame me. But I'm just glad that this was one of them that was done. I've had this for I think maybe 2 years and it was just sat in my drawer. And then last year I started the process of using this up, and I actually really enjoy this. But I had like the tiniest bit of use, so you can kind of see the line I drew right there. It's kind of like fading, but that's where I'd managed to like that's how much I'd managed to use up. But it was literally only in sort of like October, November time when I really picked this up to use. And then I decided to keep some of my work desk, and that's how I managed to fly through this product. I was constantly topping up my lips, and I worked 4 days. So for the few hours that I was working, I was constantly using this. And then every now and again, I'd sometimes use it when I was doing my makeup look over like the weekend or if I was going out. And yeah, I was just able to fly through this. Would I buy this again? I think no. Just because I did say that I kind of want to maybe try staying away from certain brands if possible, but also I don't need another lip product. I have so many. I think the total lip products category itself is probably over 200. Lip glosses is disgusting and it makes the majority of that. When you guys see that inventory, you'll understand. But I'm just glad this is finally done. The second product I ended up using up was this hair product, and this is a hair mask from Way. This is their fine to medium, I think, hair mask, but honestly, I love the smell of this. This is like a tiny little product, and it did not take me that long to use. I think I had maybe some product, like I don't remember if I rolled this in brand new. I think I did. I must have, and I was able to get through this fairly quick. I do have long hair, and that sort of helps, I guess, in a sense of using this product up. But then I was also using this up pretty much at least once a week because my hair is at the point where it's very dry and I do need a chop. So I was using this product up. It made my hair feel very hydrated, very soft, very like um just like I also noticed I had slightly less frizz than what I normally do, and I really enjoyed this product. I'm definitely considering repurchasing this one. My only issue is I'm a little bit scared to do any replacements just yet because I'm also trying out a replacement only no buy for some time, and along with that I'm trying to also clear off my debt. So we'll see how I end up going or what I end up doing with that. But if there's something that I'm going to replace within this entire project plan, it's definitely going to be this one. I really enjoy this for my hair, and I do think this will easily become a favorite of mine. It's just the price sometimes scares me a little bit, but I need to kind of get out of that mindset. I think I'm stuck in a bit of a scarcity mindset too, which I have a lot of internal work to do with that. But this I really loved, and I'm really glad I was able to use that. But this was for the letter O, the other one was for the letter E. I'm sorry, I forgot to mention that. And then for the letter F, I have this Fenty Skin lip oil. This is the Melon Treat one. This is supposed to be hydrating and strengthening lip oil. Um, I did not like this. I found that it made my lips feel very strange, and like also the back of my throat feel really strange. I don't know if that's because there was something in this product, because there was somebody else that messaged me about this on my Instagram because I was posting more like updates over there, and she said that this actually was absolutely fine for her. So I don't know if I just had a reaction to it, maybe because of something within this product that didn't necessarily sit right with me. That's usually very rare for something like that to happen to me. So that is like potentially what may have happened, but I'm not going to replace this. One, I didn't really like the product that much. Two, the tingling was enough to make me be like, yeah, it's not for me. And three, it's just, I have again so many lip glosses, lip oils as it is. I don't need anything else. And also sometimes it's nice just to use lip balm rather than trying to like use lip oil. And yeah, I just don't really feel like this would add anything into my life that I really like need. So it's gonna be a no for me. For this one, I did not bother taking out the stopper because I did it for the other one and that was a leaky mess, and now I have to keep that contained within a tissue. But because this product I wasn't really a fan of anyway, I did not bother taking the stopper out. Sometimes I will, sometimes I won't. It just depends on what the item is and how much I really like this. But I'm glad to say that this is also done. For the rest of the video, I'm only actually going to show you guys the products that I ended up using or got some sort of use out of. Any products that are not mentioned here are products that I did not get around to touching at all. So I just feel like there's no point in really like updating you guys on that. And there's only maybe like 3 products, whereas the rest of them I pretty much have some kind of use on them. And some of them are going to be products I'm going to try to completely use up. Some of these products I'm doing like a usage goal with. So I'll tell you guys how much I've used of the product versus how much I wanted to or initially plan on using. So for the first product, it's for the letter A, and it's the About Face liquid lipstick in the shade Not Your Baby. So this was a product I had in this project pan last year too, and I really love this product. It's such a beautiful shade, and I really like this for like a nice like alternative makeup look for me. And anytime I do like old kind of makeup, I tend to either gravitate towards a very like neutrally nude lip, or I'll go for something like this. And I really really like this product. So far in this project pan, I had a sheet somewhere. I've got 2 uses, and the goal is to hit 20 uses. 2 uses is not too bad, but I think I have slightly forgotten this product because I've been heavily focused on a few of the other lip products I have even within this project pan, and the other one that I'm kind of also doing. So between these two, I've kind of slightly neglected this, but so far I've still got 2 uses out of 20, and I don't think it'll be that difficult for me to hit 20 uses. Or also, already like in 2026, I've had a lot more makeup days than I did in the year of 2025. Like most of January, it was makeup days. For February and March, there'll be slightly less makeup days because I'm fasting for half February and half of March, and then it's only like the first sort of like I want to say maybe like a week, possibly week and a half I did makeup, and then same thing will probably be for March as well. So makeup days will be kind of less in those 2 months. But when my makeup picks back up again, I know that I'll still get a lot more makeup days this year than I did last year. So 2 out of 20 is not too bad. I don't know if I'm going to get more use out of this. I kind of just pick up product based on the makeup that I'm doing and the vibe that I'm feeling or going for. But yeah, I might end up putting this to the back until I use up some of the others. But let's see how and what I plan on doing, because literally it's no plan, just vibes at this point. For the letter B, I use this Beauty Bay liquid eyeshadow in the shade Slick, and this product I rolled in here because I have quite a few liquid eyeshadows, but I tend to neglect them within my collection, and a lot of the times it is because the formulas are not catered for somebody with my type of eyelids, I suppose. I think if you've got like more drier to like normal eyelids, you're fine, but sometimes my eyelids can be oily, and that does mean that some products they don't dry down properly as well, so they'll just like crease up along like this side here, and I hate that so much. But because of the reason that these are typically neglected in my collection, I decided to roll at least one into this project pan. The goal is to use this 15 times, and so far I already have 5 uses. So I've already used it a third of the amount of times I need to use, which is amazing. And you might be wondering, how the hell did I use this up? And how did I get 55 uses already? So there was 2 times when I actually used it like on my eyelid. And then there was a couple of times when I used this just to like add in a little bit of decoration. Editing me will hopefully insert some of the pictures that I took when I use this product. I think I might have like 2 or 3 pictures that I've taken with this when I used the product up. So there was one day I just added like a couple of little hearts here. It didn't really show up as much as I wanted it to, but that was one of the uses. Another one was when I did a purple eyeshadow look, which is the picture that you see now on my YouTube, like my channel, that photo. I had to do that one first, and I use this on my like inner lid here, and I had to recreate that photo because somebody asked for like a tutorial, so I did that. So I was like 3 uses all together with that, and then I use it twice again. I can't really remember the other 2 uses and how I use it, but I did get 5 uses, which already has really surprised me because I had one of these products in this collection in this project pan last year, and I was really struggling with using that. And I don't know if maybe it was because the color of the product, or I just wasn't trying to be creative enough with how I was using it. But so far, I've already had 5 uses of this, and I definitely think that this is a product that I can get like 15 uses on quite easily. It's just one of the things that I've got to like intentionally try to incorporate this into my look, and it'll have to be something that's very cool tone for me to then go ahead and use this. So far, I've kind of actually really enjoyed this product. It's a shame to see Beauty Bay is sort of like disappearing and the situation that's happening. Hopefully, they do come back and they can make a comeback because the products are one affordable to amazing quality, and 3, they're really easy to like use. It really good like beginner friendly makeup too. So I really hope Beauty Bay does make a comeback. But yeah, this product was really good. I do actually really like this, surprisingly, because I'm sometimes very like hateful towards liquid lashes because the formulas are just not it for me. But this one, I can't lie, it's actually really good. We're gonna skip C and then come over to D, and for D it's this Dior Jardin Dior like liquid lip. No, it's not a liquid lip. It's like a lip balmy sort of situation. It's a lipstick anyway. I got this for myself. I don't know. I just treated myself and I was going a bit crazy. Did I need a treat? No. But this is one of the Dior products I'm trying to use up. I don't have much in here, and I actually did try to use this up last year, but I just didn't. I don't really know what I was doing last year, basically. But I did actually get a decent chunk of use, and this is literally all I have left. And I do have a good feeling that I can use this up before the end of this year. And I know I can because this is literally all that's in here. I'm not going to dig out any more product. I don't think I will do that. I don't typically do that anyway. But this is a very easy product to use. I have got so many lip products in this collection. Sorry, I keep saying collection, but in this project pan that I'm trying to use up. So this one didn't get the most use because I'm using up another lip product in here, but this I've got a tiny bit of use on, and I'll show you guys because I have been marking this. So with this product, so where am I? So this is where I was initially when I rolled this in, but I made like the tiniest bit of progress, which honestly I'm quite surprised about because I don't really remember using this product. I may even maybe use it once or potentially twice, but I don't remember using this product. Either way, I'm glad I've made some kind of progress on here because this is an expensive product and I do want to get use out of this before it expires on me because this costed me a lot of money, and I'm trying to get out of the mindset of like not to use expensive makeup or not to use my expensive products because either they'll expire or I'm going to die and I'm not going to get to use them up. I know that was like really like dark, but realistically, like those are the only options. So rather than wasting the product, I might as well use it. So it makes sense for me to pan this, and I love this, and I like that it's you can kind of just like replace the product with anything, and you just keep the case. And I did get my name on here. I don't know why I did that. I've done that with a few products. Did I really need it? No. So why did I do it? I don't really know. But yeah, because it's like customized, I'm definitely going to keep this, and I can't wait to use this up. And I will honestly treat myself to more of these, just not yet because I do want to reduce how much I currently own. And if I can successfully get through my no buy till the end of October, I will actually let myself buy a replacement for this. And I think that'd be kind of nice to look forward to. We're going to now skip past to the letter G, and for G, I have this Glossier You perfume. My friend got this for me in 2023, I think. And since then, this smell has gotten a lot more like peppery and kind of stronger. So if you leave, the longer you leave this, it will sort of marinate and the smell will change. That's not me complaining because I do actually quite like the scent of this. That's just what I've noticed with this product. Initially, when I did that, I thought this may have expired, but because it's kind of older within my collection of makeup, so makeup perfumes, it is something that I'm more mindful of trying to use up. And I do love this scent. So that's where I was when I initially rolled the product in, and that's how much I've used. I did get a lot of use out of this throughout January. Because it's one of the main sort of perfumes that I gravitate towards when I'm going out, and even if I don't go out, like even at home, I do try to use something because it's nice just to allow yourself to like. I guess it's a bit of like whimsy, but also it's like part of like self care, and you're taking care of yourself. Just using up what you have is kind of nice. So yeah, I did get a lot of use out of this. I'm really hoping I can finish this up because it's kind of on the older side of perfumes, and where my room gets extremely hot in the summer, I do think it does affect my perfumes. I have so many perfumes that I'm trying to use up, but this one is definitely something I will repurchase. Not anytime soon, because again, I'm not in a rush to get it, but it is on my wish list of perfumes to buy. Um, but yeah, I really love the scent of this. I'm so glad my friend introduced me to this because it is genuinely so lovely, and this could easily become my everyday scent, but I have way too many perfumes for that just yet. So potentially next year I will see about replacing this one. But so far I'm doing pretty good with this. I think this might take me 2 to 3 more months, because February, March, I'm using more oud, like non-alcoholic perfumes. Not for any specific reason, it just feels like the vibe to do. But probably we're talking maybe April, May, that I'll be able to use this product up. So let's see how it goes. Don't know if I'm going to get any more use out of it in the next sort of month or so, but hopefully by the end of May I can have this as an empty. For H, I have this Huda Beauty Easy Bake setting spray in here, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm not the biggest fan of this because the packaging is really sucky. One, the metal ball that's in here just gets stuck most of the times, and the other thing is the packaging is very leaky. For how much you spend on Huda Beauty, I just feel like sometimes like they should really like take the time with the packaging side of things too, because I feel like I've wasted a decent chunk of product with how much this leaks. But that being said, I have actually managed to use up a lot of this. So that's where I was when I initially rolled this in. And this is where I am now. I've kind of like shaken this a little bit. So yeah, that's about where I am now. I don't have that long left to use this product. I don't really necessarily think it's that long lasting for me. I have oily skin. And when I used it up during the weddings in like last year, like April, but then also I had weddings in August, 2 weddings in August, and I had another one in November. This wasn't the most long lasting product for me. I feel like I've used stuff from the drugstore that have worked a lot better for me. So is it necessarily worth me going back out and replacing this? I don't really think so, and I don't necessarily know if I will. I do have 2 more of these. One was like a mini, which I got as a free gift purchase when I did like, it was more like a freebie actually when I did when I attended the Harrods Beauty Carnival thing that they did. And then the other time I got this when it was like heavily discounted during the Cyber Week sale. So those are the 2 that I have. And once this is done, I'll probably use those ones up. And then I don't necessarily think I will personally go out of my way to replace them. But if it was something that was gifted to me or given to me in any capacity, would I use it? Yes, because I do go through setting sprays quite a lot. The packaging really just gets me with this product. Um, but yeah, it is what it is. But I'm almost done with this. I don't know if this will be done by the end of March. I don't necessarily think I'll be done with this by the end of February. But either if it'll be either or. So yeah, we'll see what happens with this. But so far, like I've done really well, and I think that's just because of how many makeup days I had in the month of January. Like I really did a lot of makeup, and then I'd always like I use quite a bit of setting spray, so I'm not really surprised I went through so much of this. For eye, I have this mini lipstick from Illamasqua, and this is the shade Maple. Yeah, I got this as a gift for my birthday from one of my younger cousins. I think it was for my birthday. If it wasn't for my birthday, it was for maybe Eid. But this is literally all I have left. It's a tiny little thing. There's really not that much in here, but even still, mini lipsticks do take forever to use, and I have tried to mainly gravitate towards this and one other lipstick in this like project pan. So I have been tracking how much I've used up, and for this, that's how much I had initially, and this is where I'm at now. So I have definitely made progress with this product. It's going to take me months to use. Like when I say months, I don't exactly know how many months, but it will take me quite a few months. Lipsticks can take a while to use, and for somebody who owns a lot, I'm really starting to feel the pressure of how much I have really. So yeah, I'm glad that I was able to make progress with this. It will be really nice to have this as an empty, and I think I can get this done as an empty. I've got quite a few other mini lip products, so I think I might end up like as soon as I'm done with this, just running in another like mini within when I got this like collection is like a set of 4. There's a red, but the red will take me like 5 years to use because I hardly ever do red lipstick. But the other 3 I can definitely use up. So yeah, I really like the formula of this. It's nice and creamy. Long lasting, not necessarily, because no lip product really lasts that long on my lips. I have a bad habit of also biting my lips, and I'm not really surprised that like products disappear really fast. But I have actually enjoyed the shade of this, but also the formula of this. It is quite nice. I don't know what's going on with the mascara. Do I need a replacement of this? No, because I think I feel like this is quite like a easy color to get hold of. So I'm good with what I have, but it'd be really nice to have this done in the next couple of months. For J, I have this Beauty of Joseon Revive Eye Serum with ginseng and retinol, and I've been using this. I didn't initially mark with this, but this was like brand new when I rolled this in, and I have made some progress. You can kind of see that it's gotten a bit thinner at the top, and I use this most days or whenever I do remember. During Ramadan, my skincare has been slacking, so I've not been doing that well, but I have used this fair amount. Would I say that I've noticed a difference in my under eyes? I can't really tell at the moment. I don't necessarily know if I have, but I don't know if I'm just not been paying that much attention. Also, it doesn't really help that I've not been sleeping properly for months now. So that there's only so much skincare can do if I'm not really taking care of myself in other ways. Um, so I don't think it'll be fair for me to necessarily give a review on this just yet, but I will see how it goes. I've only used this like for maybe like a couple weeks. It's not that much. A little also goes a long way. So we'll see how this goes. But this is going to be here for like several months. That's for sure. For the letter K, I have this Keys. It's supposed to be some kind of a balm. This is how much I have left. I think I've used this maybe once. So it's kind of silly for me to even bring this in to show you guys. I don't even remember how I use this up, is a thing. But I have one use on this and I keep forgetting to use this product. I think this definitely worked better in the winter times when it's really cold, but we only had winter for like proper winter for like a week when it got really, really cold, and then maybe like a couple days. Whereas I think if I lived further up north in the UK, then yes, I would have felt it a lot more. But where I base in London, it's not necessarily that cold, and my skin's not been that bad compared to what it was last year, so I've not really had much use out of this. But it's one of those products I keep forgetting to use, and I need to like. I don't know if I can put this somewhere that'll make me remember to use it. I just feel like this is one of those products that where I don't necessarily need, it's very easy for me to forget to use this. So I don't know what's gonna happen with that, but at least I got one use out of this product. We're gonna skip L and we're gonna jump to M, and this is the MUA blush in the shade Pink Champagne. And I'm not gonna lie, this blush is actually very old, but I do really like this blush. I think it's beautiful. And tell me why it took me a month and a half to realize that the three blushes I'm panning at the moment, they're all very similar tones and very, very like similar shades. They're all kind of like peachy like this. They might be slightly different in terms of like the depth of them, but they're all very similar, as in they're very shimmery and they're peachy like this. And I did the same thing last year as well when I panned blushes. No, not last year, the year before that. And I don't know why that was the case. Initially, I was planning on hitting my goal uses in this and then moving this into my rolling project pan, and I decided not to do that because I'm gonna just hold off on that for now. But I actually do like this one. My goal for this is to hit 25 uses, and so far I've hit 3 of the 25, which is not that bad, but I do feel like I'll get a lot more use out of this in the summertime because at the moment I've done more looks, which typically I'm gravitating toward this like pinkier, purplier sort of like more cool tone blush, whereas these types of blushes, because I don't really wear that many like warmer toned or peachier toned makeup, it's slightly more difficult for me to like gravitate towards these blushes. And tell me why I have so many of them, and tell me why I do have two very similar blushes. Clearly, I was not thinking. Clearly, I was not thinking when I rolled this into the project pan, but do you know what? It is what it is. We're here now, might as well make the most out of this. But 3 out of 25 users, again, not bad, but I do feel like I need to be a little bit more heavy handed with this because there's not that much depth in this for what I would necessarily need. It looks more like shimmery, but there's not as much like peachy tone like this coming through. So that's just one thing I've noticed. But I am gonna keep this for now. I'm gonna continue using this because I do actually like this. And this was like maybe £3 when I bought this back in 2020. So I've had this for a long time. Do I necessarily need this? No. But I'm still gonna use it whenever I can. I just don't think I'm gonna roll it into the other project pan, but it is nice to use. For the letter N, I have this NYX Orange Zest eye pencil. Unfortunately, I actually forgot to like mark the start of this project when I rolled this in, but I have made some kind of use out of this. I think maybe I've used this twice. It's not that much, but like still I've had some use on this. And this was in this project pan I think last year too, and the goal was to use up last year. It didn't happen. So I'm hoping I can try and get as close as possible to using this up by the end of the year. Whenever I use this product, I always get commented on like my eyes if I'm okay. And I think that's just because some people think my eyes are like really red or like really sensitive, or maybe I've been crying. I don't really know. But that typically is something that gets asked of me a lot. So I try and not use this when I've done makeup like this when I don't put any eyeshadow on. But the problem is, again, I don't really wear much like orange toned or like warm tone makeup for me to then gravitate towards this. And I typically, whenever I wear like no eyeshadow and I do makeup, I'll pop in a colourful waterline. And that's when I typically gravitate towards a lot of my colourful like eyeliners or eye pencils. Um, yeah, but I do like this and I think it is really nice. It's just getting on the older side. So I don't necessarily think I'll be able to completely use this up, which was my goal, but I would like to get as much use out of this as possible. Now, for the letter P, I brought back another blush that I was trying to pan last year, and this is something that I I can't tell if I love it, I can't tell if I hate it. Definitely do think it gives it the beautiful like sun-kissed look though. And it's this. And I managed to hit pan on this product. Am I really surprised? Yes, I was actually. I thought it would take me a lot longer to hit pan. This is where I'm at now. But I think my brush is quite dense, so and I was only focusing in the middle section because that's typically how I use up a blush. Like I'll just focus it on the center and then I'll like get the sides. I don't like try to level it all down. Um, because it's just easier for me to use it like this. And I most of the time I like very mindlessly do my makeup, so I'm not really paying attention. So like I'm always like focusing in the middle. I thought I would it take me at least another couple uses before I hit pan, but this product did have a lot of uses in it from last year, and I don't remember how much that was. But also this product is losing its pigment, and so with that I have to use a lot more of this for it to show up on my skin. This is also quite old. I think I got it maybe 21 or 22. I can't really remember when this came out. But it was very hard to get hold of, and I think I got it the following year for when it had been out because these sold out so fast. Of the Patrick Tars blush like products, I think these blushes he should have really kept in his line because some people don't like using creams. I'm not really a big fan of using cream blushes and like cream products because they don't. Because I have oily skin, it can just be really difficult to like work with them and use them. But these he should have really kept in for a lot longer. So initially the goal was to either hit 32 uses or to hit pan, but because I hit pan in like after I hit 3 uses, that would almost kind of feel like too easy for me. And I like to make things more difficult for myself. So I decided to try and keep this in for 30 uses. And potentially after 30 uses, if I still have product left in this blush by miracle of God, then I'm going to roll this into my YouTube rolling project pan and see how much I can get use from then. I think let me see. Of 30, I've now hit 4 uses in here. So hopefully you can kind of see that better. There has been like very visible usage in here. And because I'm like focused in this particular area, you can kind of see the color difference. I think I might be able to expand the pan quite quickly in here. But because this blush is very similar, oh my God, to the other blush, which I just tossed over to the other side, it's a bit difficult trying to like decide on which of these two blushes I'm gonna use. Like that's a side by side. Like they're very, very similar. That might be better to show you guys. Very, very similar. It's just the colors are a little bit different, but they're both on the shimmery side. This one, when I build this up a lot more, you can actually visibly see the color of this, the base of this. But with this one, the base doesn't really necessarily show that much. But I feel like I can make a lot of visible progress on this blush, and I'm gonna try to at least get 2 uses out of these blushes each month. Um, but I think in the summer is when I'm probably gonna get the most use out of these blushes. But yeah, 4 uses out of 30 is not bad. I think if I had hit pan maybe in like 10 uses, I would have thought differently about this, and I probably would have then been like, okay, I can call it done, and I could have moved this out. But 3 uses into this project, and I hit pan. It feels too easy. So I'm gonna just challenge myself as if I don't already do that enough, and I'm gonna keep this around for as long as I can. And you never know, like I might be able to completely pan this product up in the 30 uses. The reason I say that is because with this product, I generally have to pack on a lot more now, which is really sad that the pigment of this is fading, but because it's such a beautiful blush, I hope if he brings something back, he brings these back. Because they were honestly so good. For the letter Q, I rolled in the same product I had last year, and that's the Becca Rose Quartz highlighter. And with this product, the goal was to hit 25 uses. And last year I was really complaining about this product because I didn't get along with it. I didn't really like it that much. But I still got like a good chunk of uses out of this product. I think last year my goal was hit 50 uses. I don't know how close I got to that because I don't remember and I don't want to rewatch my old videos to remember. But of the 25 uses, I've actually hit 12. And I think that was just because some of the makeup that I did just leaned a little bit more pink toned. And so I decided to use this highlighter more often. I have quite a few highlighters that I'm trying to use up this year. I don't think I will be able to use up the others that I really wanted to, but I did get a lot of use out of this product. And I think once I hit the 25 uses in this product, it will just make it easier for me to go back to using my other products. So this is where I'm at now. I also forgot to mention I did hit pan at some point. Um, yeah, I'm quite surprised because I thought it maybe taking me a lot longer. But I think I'm also at a point where I don't really understand how much I pan and how easy it can be to hit pan in some products because last year was such a sucky year for makeup and the year before was like, but like I don't really remember hitting pan in that many products. So I think this year where I'm like finally like hitting pan in quite a few things is just shocking me. So yeah, I can't believe I hit pan, but then I can believe I hit pan because that's that spot is where I was focusing on when I was using this product up, and it's primarily been the place I've been like hitting my brush on almost every time I use this. So yeah, it's just easier for me to focus in on one area and then like I don't like focus in, I don't dig down, I just like swirl the brush in a very specific place, and it just happened to be this one. You can kind of see like there's that look like dent there, so that's kind of where I'll be focusing my brush on, and somehow managed to hit pan over there. I do think I can expand the pan. I do need to take a photo of these though so that I remember where I was at on this update. I don't know how much progress I will make for next update and if I will remember to use this for next update, but I did use this a lot. And for February, especially at the start of February when I was doing a little more like slightly more like pinkier-ish like makeup looks, I did actually use this the most. So I'm not surprised in that sense that I got a lot of use out of this, and I have grown to like this highlighter more this year compared to last year. And I don't really remember why I hated it last year so much, but this year I've really liked this, and I can actually see myself fully like just panning this product because it's happened to be one of the two most used highlighting products I've used. So yeah, I do think I can hit 25 uses. I think I can get to that point probably by the end of May, maybe even sooner, just depending on a couple of things. The fact that I've hit 25 in like 2-ish months, it's nice. It's nice. I like it. I like to see that my makeup's being used. It's good. And yeah, I think now, like last year, I really struggled with the 50 uses, but I feel like if I did that for this year, I definitely could hit 50, but I'm not going to increase that because I have so many other products to pan. But 25 uses, I can see like that happening very soon. So I'm very much looking forward to that point. For the letter R, I have this Makeup Revolution, or sorry, Revolution Pro lip gloss in the shade Become. It's a really lovely pinky lip gloss. I'm actually going to put some on because my lips feel hella dry. So this product, I've had it for so long, and I think I've had this for maybe since 2020. However, the fact that this product is so old, it still works really well. There's no smell to this, but also this doesn't feel weird or like irritate my lips in any way. So the formula of this has definitely like lasted a long time. This product I'm not in a rush to use because I've realized I don't actually have many lip glosses like this. I have a lot of shades of glosses. A lot of them tend to be more neutral or like more maybe like on the brownier side. There'll be a couple that I have that look like this, but the ones that are like really opaque and have color to them, they're like really bright, like vibrant, and they don't really give the same vibe as this one does. And I realized I don't have many pinky glosses, which shocked me. Like, what is going on? Even though I have so many glosses, which you will see next week, hopefully. Yes, I'm in no rush to use this up. I like the formula of this. I can potentially see myself replacing this one. I just haven't shopped from Makeup Revolution and I don't know what they're doing. And I don't know if there's been any like big changes that have happened within that brand. Because I think I stopped buying from them because they were releasing a ridiculous amount of products on what felt like a monthly basis. But yeah, I do like this gloss. It does sit nicely on the lips. I love the shade of this too, but I feel like I need to maybe use this a little bit more. But again, like I said, I'm not in a massive rush to use this up because I know I'll eventually have like completely used up the product, and I don't want to keep this one next to my desk and try to use it up in that way. I only want to use it when I am doing makeup looks because I feel like the color of this is so nice. It just makes sense for me to use it in that way. Hopefully I can get this done by the end of the summertime because that'll be like ideal. And then just have this moved out of my makeup bag because that bag is looks like it's about to explode. But yeah, I really like this, and I so shocked that I don't actually have that many like pink glosses. Wow, clearly I do not know my collection well enough. For S, I have this Summer Fridays Jet Lag Skin Soothing Hydration Mist, and I was really trying to use that, but I haven't actually done my skincare properly for the last, like, I want to say couple days at least, maybe like a week. I've really been slacking. But when I rolled this product in, I was about here, and literally that's all I have left. There's like a tiny, tiny bit. And I really do think I can have this done for the next update because like how long will that realistically take me? Maybe a week, if that. And my skin sometimes feels really dry, sometimes there's a bit. I always like to wet my skin before I use a toner. And this is something that I use all the time to do that. So there's not much left in here to use. I did like this, but not enough to want to replace this because I don't feel like it made that big of a difference to my skin. I'm going to use this over makeup and see how it does. It feels nice to the skin, but I couldn't say that it's nice enough for me to like want to replace this. I think maybe if you had like drier skin than I do, you might enjoy this a little bit more. But the way that I use this, I don't necessarily think it makes sense for me to like replace this. I think I got this in my Cult Beauty advent calendar, and I can't lie, it's always nice to try different products in there. But I wouldn't like go out of my way to buy this as a replacement for my skincare products. There's other things that I found that work really well. This just doesn't hit the mark. Um, it's nice, but that's all I have to really say for the product. For the letter T, I decided to roll in this ordinary AHA 30% and BHA 2% peeling solution. I got this last year because I have really bad um like deep like scarring because of my acne and me picking it for like years. I'm trying to like really break out of the habit of picking my skin, and I pick my skin around my nails. I mean, that's kind of, you can't even really see, but that's what it's looking like. And this hand is literally the worst at the moment. But yeah, like I'm always like picking my hands and like my nails, and then I pick my spots. And I initially got this product back in 2020, and I did notice a difference back then. And I decided to use like a cheaper product at home while I clear off my debt so that I can then eventually get micro needling done to my skin. I did do some sessions a couple of years ago, but the machine that was used, I just feel like it was very intense, and I just I don't know how I feel about going back to doing that, but I do want to go back to do micro needling because I think I really need it. I don't know if the camera will necessarily pick up on my skin, but you can kind of see a lot of it on this side, especially like there's a lot here, and on this cheek there's a little bit on this side. There's not that much, but the most affected one is this side. So I really do want to like improve my skin as much as I can in an affordable way, which I feel like would be this product. But I would say to be very careful with this. When it gets like heat wave level, I'm not going to use this product because I just feel like that would be me being very stupid and irresponsible with my skin. But I feel like while it's still like kind of like cloudy, also not too warm, and the sun isn't that intense, I feel like I can kind of get away with using this. And I have made like progress on this product, which is nice to see. And the only problem I have is I forget to take photos of my skin before and after when I'm testing out products. So what I'll try and do going forward is take a picture of what my skin looks like, maybe tomorrow or the day after, whenever I can remember, and then like just track it over like several months when I use this product, and we'll see if it makes a difference. But I do feel like this my skin looks just a tiny, tiny bit better than what it did before. Because most of the times when I notice it is when I'm in the bathroom doing my skincare, and where the light hits differently, it kind of looks slightly better. So I don't know how much it's helping, but I know that it's not necessarily the best thing to help because of how like pitted they are. So I do feel like I do need actual like micro needling. Um, but let's see how it goes and what I decide to do next. But progress pictures are definitely something I think I do need to take to really see if this product is working or not. I'm not gonna lie, my fast is starting to get to me. It is now 4:25, and soon I'm gonna have to get up to cook dinner. But I'm like so tired. I'm really feeling it today. And it's only what, day 4? No. Yeah. I think we started on Wednesday. So it's only day 4. So not looking great. But the next product is this Oma Beauty palette in the Heritage, I think Royal Heritage. So this was a collab with Coming to America too when it came out. And I'm not gonna lie, I just feel like this brand sort of disappeared. But this is the palette. I did have this in last year as well. Last year the goal was to hit 20 uses on here. And then I realized that when it comes to panning palettes, I actually suck at that because I have so many palettes. I'd rather just rotate through them and not really have like that intense of a usage goal. 20 was a lot. And last year I spent a lot of time being sick, so I don't really get much use out of a lot of things anyway. And that's why I feel like my panning was just all over the place, but also like my love of makeup was a little bit all over the place up until like October time. And only then really I picked up on a lot of like makeup, and that's when I started to kind of get a little bit creative again and just have a little bit more fun. I did bring this back because I didn't know what else to have for the letter U, but I love this palette and I decided to keep this as easy as possible, and that was just to use the palette 5 times. I think that is very doable because I already had 2 uses on this palette. So 2 out of 5 is really not bad. Even if I managed to hit 12, like even if I roll this in for like 10 or 12 uses, I think I could easily do that because like 1 use a month would just get me close to that point. So hopefully by March, not March, sorry, by like May or June, this will be done. I do love this palette. I think the formula of this is really great. Um, I just I do wish I used it a little bit more, but then where I have so many eyeshadow palettes, I think I have like after decluttering recently, I've got down to 200, but I feel like I'm gonna end up pulling some of those palettes back. So let's just say I've got 215 palettes. I started the year with like 220, I don't know, 8 or something like that. Or so there's a lot of eyeshadow palettes to then have to specifically focus in on a couple of them. It doesn't really make sense for me to do that. So that's why 5 uses I think is a lot in itself. But this is a really lovely palette, and I always enjoyed using this, and it just the eyeshadow in here just ends up sitting so beautifully on the skin. So yeah, I don't really know what's going on with the brand. I haven't really seen anything new. I don't think I've seen any makeup from them anyway when I've shopped online. So yeah, like I don't really know what's going on with the brand. I don't even know if they're really available anymore in the UK, which is kind of sad because I feel like they had some really amazing products. But yeah, it is what it is. But this palette honestly is really, really nice. I'm glad I've kept a hold of it and I didn't decide to declutter it last year because I feel like that is something I really would have regretted. But it is a beautiful palette, and I think I can definitely hit the 5 uses in a couple months' time, and I think that'll be really nice to look forward to. For V, I have the Vera Vang perfume in Princess, and I feel like I've had this for maybe like 2 years now, and then I tend to like forget to use this product, but I feel like it's such an easy like everyday scent, and I have actually used a lot of these, and these are always on sale, so they're easy to grab. But I feel like if you're like maybe college or like school and you want like a perfume, I feel like this would be a really nice one to use all the time because it's not too strong and it's not too like sweet. It's a good like I feel like a basic perfume, and I've been through so many of these though over the years. So there is definitely something about this product that is really nice for me to keep going back to buying this one. I've made some progress on here. It's going to be hard for you to kind of see. So that's where it was last when I first introduced this in, and that's how much I've used. So there's been a bit of progress in here. I feel like the lines would definitely get bigger the further down I go because it's kind of like it goes, it's wide and it kind of like goes back into itself. So for now, there's not been that much visible progress, but I have actually used this one quite a lot as well. I do love the scent of this, so whenever I do remember, I like rotate through my perfume. So this is one that gets somewhat of like the most use as well, and this it's just nice to see like visible progress on here. Will I end up replacing this one? Absolutely. It's such a good just basic perfume. I actually have the body spray one of this, so I don't think I'll replace it until I use that one up. But it is a really good easy perfume to use, and I feel like you know, if you're going out somewhere like to run errands but you just want to like quick spray something on, this is a really good one. And I just feel like even if I don't use it for that, like even like going out perfume, like I do still use it and I get like a lot of use out of it, and I always have gotten a lot of use out of it. And I think I've been through at least like 5 bottles of this over the last several years of like me discovering this one to use all the time. Um, but yeah, again, once I use this, probably will replace it. But it is a good perfume, and I'm just glad that I can see visible progress on here. For W, I have this Laneige water mask thing, and I not the biggest fan of stuff like this. Um, One, I feel like it just goes all over my pillow, but two, I don't necessarily think this product isn't gonna be for me. I think maybe if you have dry skin, I think you might really like enjoy and get a lot of use out of this product, and maybe this will work better for you. But my skin is more on the oily side anyway, and even though hydration is very important, but I still don't really feel like it does anything for me. I don't even know how many uses I've got. I think maybe like one, if not maximum two uses out of this. I feel like this will take me quite some time to use, but then I feel like whenever I do use it, I do have to use quite a bit of product because I have a big face. um so yeah, I mean, this will be nice to use up. I think I got this when I bought like a curated K beauty box from either Cult Beauty or Boots. I don't really remember, but I did buy a couple of curated boxes last year, and I think this is one of them that came in one of those boxes. So would I necessarily go back out and replace this? No, because I don't really think my skin needs this or necessarily gets the most benefit out of this particular product. So it's not worth me buying it. But I do really need to like use this one. I do forget to use this because it kind of sits at the back of the place where I keep my day-to-day skincare, the ones that I'm currently trying to use, is it's right at the back. So it's very easy to just skip past this and move on to some of the other products. Um, this would be easy. I think this would be a good product to use during Ramadan because my skincare is usually getting washed up quite often because I'm like doing my wudu to then pray or then waking up at Sahri time for that as well. So I'm really not gonna get like, I'm gonna be constantly washing my face anyway. So I feel like this would be a good product to use in this sort of period. So I think that's what I'm gonna try and do rather than using some of my other products where I can. I'm just gonna try and use this one into my collection while my energy levels are like dropping insanely fast. Um, but yeah, again, I'm not really bothered with taking progress pictures of this because I know it's just something I want to use up. So hopefully by next update I can sit here and say to you guys I've definitely used more than twice, and hopefully it can be an MC because I think that in itself would be very nice. For the letter X, I brought in my Revolution X Night Before Christmas gloss, and it was the clear gloss. Unfortunately, I can't find it right now, but when I do, I'll insert like a video of where I am. So after I use up my e.l.f. product, I moved on to the Fenty Skin product, and then after that one, I decided to keep this product on my work desk. So that's how I've kind of been using up my glosses. I feel like some glosses kind of work in a bit of a hydrating way anyway, and it's just nice to use them up. So I've kind of been keeping that on my work desk, and I have used up, I think, about halfway of that product now, and I've had that on my work desk for about a week and a half, I think. So I have gotten some use out of this already. I'm hoping that by next update this will be an empty too, because that would be really nice to see, and that will mean that I would then have emptied out 3 lip glosses, which will be really nice for me personally. And I do also feel like if I keep a lot of like lip glosses or lip oils on my work desk, I'm definitely gonna fly through them. And I do have a good chunk of lip oils in itself. Aside from lip glosses, I think maybe I've got like 15, maximum 20, but probably close to 15 lip oils in various ways. So I feel like if I just keep one at my desk every couple weeks and I go through it, I could potentially use out 15 like items for my lip gloss category, even though lip oils are slightly different, but I feel like they kind of all do the same thing for me, really. It's like I could make a really big dent in my lip gloss inventory if I do that, and that really is the goal for me to do. So hopefully the next week I can finish up this product so I can put something else on my work desk and just keep making progress. But when I can find the product, I will like add a photo, and if I don't add it in for this update, then I'll definitely try to remember to add it in for next update. But it'll be really nice to have this one as an MT very soon too. For the last product in here that I've made use on is for the letter Y, and this is the YSL lipstick. I don't actually know the name of it. I just know that this is like a two number. It just says 210 at the back of this, and I think this is the Love Shine formula, and this is the one I've used the most. Um, the reason I decided to use this one the most within this project pan is because this is one of the most expensive products that I do have within this project pan, along with the Dior product. But I feel like a lot of my looks leaned more like pinky-ish, so then I ended up using this one as often as I could, and honestly I've made a good dent in this product. It is nice, but was nice enough for me to like go back out and replace? I'm not really sure yet because I have so many lipsticks. I don't think I'll do that anytime soon, but I think if I had a much smaller collection of lipsticks I definitely would do that. So with this product, this is where I was initially, and that's how much I've like used up. And I'm not gonna lie, it has been the most used lip product since the start of the year, but also within this like collection of like lip products that I've been trying to pan as well. So that progress is quite significant for me, and I feel like I can definitely use up this product, but also I feel like there's going to be more product that I can potentially push up out of it, so I'm gonna just do with that when time is near. But I have really enjoyed using that lip product. There is a couple of products that I haven't mentioned. There's a lip pencil that is for the letters Z, but I haven't actually used it, so I didn't bother bringing that in. So that was a lot of products to update you guys on. I hope I can have like another couple of empties for next update, and I think I can. There's a couple of products here that are kind of like really screaming that they will be empty for like next update, and because this update kind of falls towards the end of the month, I feel like I can get good use out of some products. That was everything for Beauty A to Z. That was a lot because there are so many products in here and so many products got used. Hopefully, as the year goes on, like this update will get like shorter and shorter, but we shall see. If you guys like this video, please make sure you give me a like, subscribe if you can, and check me out on my other socials. Like I said, everything is at Daily with Dills. I'll catch you next week for another video, and hopefully that video is my makeup inventory. But anyway, bye for now.